It's not like he doesn't find her beautiful, it's just he doesn't understand the whole love thing. The girl runs away crying, and the next day, her friends start bullying Cole for rejecting her. They started abusing him and telling him how worthless he is. As this thing keeps on going, Cole's will to participate in his school just fades. He felt uncomfortable and decides to sneak out at night for the first time. In a world where the majority of people sleep at night, he was curious to explore how the city would look. The sky is lit up by the clusters of stars. Looking around, he sees empty roads and has a sudden feeling of freedom. On his way, he comes across a vending machine that sells adult juice. With no one to see him, he gathers his courage and tries to buy it. But suddenly Nazana, a girl covered in a black robe, appears next to him. Ko freaks out and explains that it was a mistake, and that he never do it again. After it, he tries to escape, but Nazana stops him and calms him down. She tells him that she is not a cop. Nazana tells Ko to follow her if he feels tired and wants to relax. Cole finds it very suspicious, but still follows her. After some time, they arrive at her home. On the elevator, she explains that her business is to help people who have trouble sleeping. After they get inside, she tells him to lie on the bed. Cole freaks out, thinking she is going to do something indecent with him. However, Nazan assures that it's not what he is thinking. So Ko finally decides to lie down. After some time, strangely his body starts to feel very light and he ends up falling asleep. Nazana checks by asking if he is actually asleep. After numerous attempts, when Ko didn't respond, Nazana concludes that he is asleep for good. Now she is ready to show her true self. As she approaches him, Ko is only pretending to stay asleep. Nazana opens her mouth and drives her fangs onto Ko's neck. After it, she drinks his blood and is delighted at how delicious it is. However, she starts to panic as Ko gets up. She tries to explain that there was a mosquito on his neck and she squished it. However, it's not very convincing. Nazuna gives up and reveals that she is a vampire. And knowing this, Ko starts to freak out in fear that he will turn into a vampire too. Nazuna assures him that he won't turn because the person has to fall in love with the vampire. Because if after every bite, humans would turn into her offsprings, it would create a lot of problems for them. Cole finds it more convincing. As the rumors go for vampires, Ko finds Nazana wholesome vampire and doesn't find the need to run away from her. To freshen up the mood, they go outside. Then Nazana asks how he felt on his first night out. Ko thinks for a moment and realizes how calming it was. With no one to order him around, he felt like he could do anything. He wants this feeling forever and requests Nazana to turn him into a vampire. Nazani starts blushing and reminds him that he would need to fall in love with her. Then even though Ko doesn't understand love things, to live a life of night, he is going to fall in love with her. Nazuna tells him that she doesn't care what he does. However, in return, every day she needs his blood. Ko agrees, and after it, Nazuna holds him and to show him the beauty of staying awake at night. The next day, Ko again sneaks out. He meets up with Nazuna and comes inside. Siri had enough. She cannot let her privacy be breached anymore and tries to attack him, but before she could hurt him, Ko saves him as per the deal and run away. But Siri soon catches up to them. Siri gave the last warning to Ko to don't come between her killing. But when Ko refuses to leave, offers his blood, she charges at him. Luckily, Nazana comes in time and blocks her attack. She tells Siri that no way she is letting Ko hang out alone with her. However, Nazani gets embarrassed. Freak like her, Nazana is curious and asks Siri, why is she trying to kill a human when she has always turned them into vampires? With a curious tone, she asks if a kin and tells him to cover up his neck. Special to her. Siri finally reveals her love for Akin. Not long before, she met him near a park where he was in grief for, even though she is a vampire, breaking up with his girlfriend. At first she had full intention of turning him into her offspring. However, as they continue to meet and talk, she realizes that she drinks when she is not like the other humans she had turned. Gradually she fell in love with him, however, she just couldn't dare to confess her love because for a vampire, from there they go to her home, and a human to live together is forbidden, and she doesn't want him to turn into a vampire, either because she would be taking away everything from him and then she drinks it, so she decides to stay away from him and left him without any proper explanation. However, for Akin, it was a shock. He couldn't understand the reason why they part there. The next day, Wei-zhen tried texting her and following her to get a proper answer. However, today, she just couldn't hold on to it anymore and just wanted bought to wristwatch transceivers to end this for good. Siri gets emotional after telling this. Akin comes forward and tells Siri that every time he spent with her was filled with joy, because it was getting difficult to find Nazuna to feel this joy for life is him becoming a vampire. He would be glad to. He puts his hand forward and Sarah turns him with everyone. Notsna is amused to see it, being happy. They spend the night celebrating this occasion. The following day, the Sinner's business is in bad shape. Very few customers apply for her. It's like service, so to make up for it, she sends Ko to find someone who looks tired. On his way, spots a woman named Ankle who is alone and also looks tired. A very high-tech gadget. Ko approaches her. He tries his best to not look suspicious and asks everything is alright, and Ko stands up and asks if he is trying. She asks if Ko has used it before to hit on her. They go to a nearby restaurant where Ko is in a panic and explains he had no intention of flirting with her. He explains that he was. Ko tells her just looking for potential customers on her bosses. Requests Anko after knowing questions him why someone like him who is under 18 years working around 9 years after old the legal working hours, because as per the labor law she can report. Ko's boss is freaking out that luckily Anko was just joking. She understands he bought the transceivers. If a young kid is working this late, he must have his reasons. Anko reveals that she is a private detective and usually deals in interpersonal cases like murder. He kept one with him, affairs and missing people. She asks Ko if he is usually awake during these hours. After knowing he is Anko, shows a picture of a person and the other above a mailbox. Missing. Cope panics as he realizes it's Akin. With a fearful tone, he refuses to know the person. However, Ankle notices a sudden change in his expression and pulls him closer. She threatens him to tell her what he knows, but suddenly she backs off and apologizes for scaring him. And after before leaving, she pays the bill and tells Ko to contact her in case he got any information. However, Anko is not planning to leave Ko anytime soon. It was gone. She suspects Ko knows something,
and from now on
follows him.
A few days later,
Ko meets up with
Akira and Mahira
to spend some time together. As earlier promised, he tried to send a message. They go inside the school and start busting all the myths regarding the urban legends surrounding the schools. Like they stand in front of a but couldn't mirror and call a certain name 3 times to see if someone will come, or they go to their music room to see
The
if piano is playing on its own but just, and decided to wait
like expected.
All were just rumors after they have busted all the myths. Mahira asks if they know about a teacher who went missing from the school. For the other person to make the first
10 years
move.
ago.
Both Akira and Ko know about it. After all, it is still a hot topic that the students discuss. Mahira got curious about the case. Nozana feels so sad on
and
hearing
did
the
some
story.
additional research.
He found out that there is a rumor that the same teacher appears in his classroom at night waiting to devour students. That she laughs. Akira are
and
not
Ko
convinced and believe
it is just a fake
like
story.
the urban legends. However, after a lot of persuasion from my hero, they decides to check. Ko tells her to stop making
The
fun of
classroom.
him. Upon opening the door, the rumored teacher is in the room. Everyone is freaking out and is scared to move even an inch. The teacher and gives the transceiver
Approaches them
in anger because
was
he restraining his hunger for
all
these years, and today when he could have been freed, they messed it up. On seeing a girl, he tells Nozana to
He
go
couldn't
about 150
resist
meters
anymore,
and with his insane speed grabs Akira.
My hero
to
tries
free her and tells Ko to help. However, Ko is in panic since it only has this range because he realizes the teacher is a vampire. He gets back to his senses,
and with all
his strength, he hits the teacher with a chair as they were after Nozana
about
leaves.
to
run. Just then Ankle appears from the shadows. She offers her blood and the teacher charges at her. However, after drinking it, he starts to. He sends a message. Because it tastes awful. Ankle had a case about teacher and was researching him. She reveals that the teacher unknowingly fell in love and gladly it's working with a vampire. And after he was turned, he couldn't dare to accept his reality. Since then he hadn't drunk a single drop of blood, but today and seen humans. They reunite. He couldn't resist his urges and attacked. Ankle hands to teacher a silver ring, which surprisingly hurts him as the sun comes up to teacher. And then Nozana takes Ko to ashes. Ankle grabs Ko's collar and tells him that she followed him after the earlier encounter, and now she knows he is meeting up with her with no one around. Vampire and trying to become one of them. She wants him to stay away for his own good before leaving. Anko gives them her business card. This is the first time just Ko in feels this they want relieved to share anything. After bidding his friends goodbye, Ko goes to Nisana's place and tells her everything. He fears that, and soon Nozana drinks she might turn into a psycho vampire like to teacher. Nozana assures that she will him not because every day she is getting a tasty dose of. On his way back, blood they go outside during it. Nozana asks Ko if he going to quit becoming a vampire. Detective Ko assures her that he will. Ko tries sending a message however, using upon his old transceiver. Ankle was easily able to kill the vampire. He fears she will come after not Cena and other vampires. Nozina looks worried unexpectedly to know humans have found a way of killing vampires. She has been living for decades, but still she didn't come across someone with that ability. The message sends, despite it she assures Ko that everything is going to be fine before leaving. She drinks Ko's blood and goes their separate ways on his, and a girl named Wei My Hero approaches Ko. After talking with Anko, he tells Ko to not become a vampire he doesn't
want to see
his friend turning
into a monster.
Akira appears
Like they saw earlier. My hero
advises him
to take his time and take the decision
the next day
before leaving
to meet up with
Nazuna.
She is Ko's friend.
At home wondering
whether he should
quit or not.
Nazana comes
inside the
it's
room.
her first time inside
A boy's room.
and she is amused.
Ko tells her about
and studies at
his
his
interaction
interaction
with my hero.
Nazana asks
If he is trying
Ko
to quit.
reveals that
Ever since
the
meeting
detective
and my hero,
he is gotten
confused. He all this time wants to enjoy the freedom of night. However,
he also
the
fears
detective
what
might do to
her and other vampires after.
Listening to this, Nazana tells she was the one carrying it. Ko that she lied to him for decades. She had been a vampire, but
She has only
felt lonely and nothing else. And whenever she hangs
out
with
with
him, Ko is surprised
She only
and
shows
asks the good side.
but
in reality, if he turns
into
a vampire, he will only
feel lonely.
after telling
This Natsuna
how
is
did she
a-
get it? Akira is confused
because she saw
the
Ko leaving.
transceiver thinking he
above
wanted
her
to play.
mailbox.
She waited for him to make the first
Akira
move when
and
they
Ko
were
used
little.
to play
However, as
together.
their class
They had
progressed,
to spend more
studying
time.
and
Akira
eventually
with a
asks
worried
if
tone.
everything is okay.
She
noticed for several days
he wasn't coming to the
Ko
school
explains
and tells her what
and
happened
because
to
of
him.
this, he started disliking the school.
Akira didn't say
and
anything
asked if
else.
they
Tomorrow.
can meet again. Around this
Ko
time,
agrees,
he
but
is
before
surprised to
leaving,
see her in a school uniform.
Akira explains
and
that
prefers
she
going
usually
to
wakes
school
up
very
very
early.
early.
The next
Really in a
day,
position
as
to
promised,
say
they
anything
again meet
about
up.
it.
But he is soon caught by Natsuna. Ko freaks out
and doesn't know what
he
to
is
say
feeling
and
like
felt
he
guilty.
cheated. However, Nazana is not mad
and
starts teasing Cole for spending his time with another girl. Akira asks
And
about
in
their
reply,
relationship. Nazan explains that her and Ko's
nothing
relationship is only physically
Ko panics
related
and scolds
for the
her.
absurd way of putting it. Akira, like any normal
misinterprets
human, however,
that they are
gets
dating.
embarrassed and tells her
not
to relate everything to love. She demonstrated
meant
what
earlier.
Finally, Akira understands that Nazuna is a vampire.
After Akira
Ko
leaves
and
for
Nazuna
school,
Ko
have a walk.
notices that Nazuna seems angry. He asks if she didn't
Him
like
spending
his time with Akira. Nazana tells him
She
that
is
not mad and just takes off. Ko now is very sure
She
that
is angry
and follows her. He searches for her in the places they have
Previously,
met. He couldn't
however,
find her. As Cole was climbing up the stairs,
he
falls and hurt himself.
The sun is
about
to
and for the
rise.
last time,
He again
the
sends.
message. Fortunately, this time a message is
As
sent.
Nazuna
Ko
picks up
apologizes for seeing a friend in secret
and explains
he really wants to make up. Suddenly, Nazuna appears
and assures
him that she was not angry, just a bit irritated.
She fears that
because of Akira,
Cole
will stop spending time
and will
at night.
return
Cole
to his
finally
school.
understands the situation
And
assures her that he isn't planning to
Nazana
return.
notices
and asks
blood
about
around
tells
Cole's
that
left
and
foot.
got hurt. Natsuna takes a closer
As
look
she looks
at the blood. She couldn't hold
kissed
herself.
him.
Afterwards, she just leaves,
Leaving
Ko in shock. The next day, Ko on his way spots a couple
He
kissing. Starts blushing upon remembering
his
kiss with Naz in a yesterday. He then realizes people who love each other are the ones who kiss. He felt a sudden
and
rush
believes
of
can
confidence.
be a vampire now.
He meets up with Nazuna and offers his blood. Nazana comes and drinks
forward.
it. However, nothing happens. Ko is confused and doesn't know how this is possible. Nazana explains just because
that
they kiss doesn't mean they are in love with
It's
each other.
not
It's not how love works. Ko is
And
devastated.
devastated.
The next day, on the way to meet Nazuna, he spots Akira. It's still midnight, and he finds it unusual for her to be awake at this time. Akira reveals that lately she is having trouble sleeping and wanted to walk around.
invites
If
her
she
to
is
visit
okay
with us.
at her place and play some video games.
After Ko
asks Akira if she wants to play, and if she wins, Natsuna will kiss
Akira
her
creeps
and
out.
refuses the offer. She asks if it was the same condition
For Ko as
when
well.
Nazana said
Akira
yes
is in
and
shock.
wonders what these two do every night. As a friend, Akira tells
that she
Ko
is
very supportive
his
of
type of girl.
but she cannot let him date a vampire. Nazana corrects her that they are not dating. Ko just wants
she
to
wants
become a
his
vampire. It's
vampire.
almost time for Nazana to drink some blood. After drinking it, she tells both
However,
of them to
Akira
sleep is against the idea
and
wants to leave for her school as soon as possible. Nazana tells her that outside it's raining and she is not
Anything
going to
indecent.
do. Finally, Akira decides to lie down with the intention of
for
leaving
school as soon
the
as.
rain stops. However, she ends up sleeping for 4 hours. Despite being late, it is the first
After
time
so many years.
Akira had a decent sleep. The following day, after a devastating
Nazuna
loss, and
is fed
decides
up
to head to a
after
nearby
bathing
hot for some
spring.
time. she receives a message from Ko and meets up with him. For Ko, it's his first time watching Notsuna with her hair all loosen up. He is blushing and wonders if he has fallen in love with her. So he offers his blood. Notsuna is really without any starts drinking it. However, she ends up drinking so much Cole starts to feel a nearby hotel and go there for some time. However, it's not the kind of hotel they were thinking of. Cole, after gaining his strength, is still confused and wonders why he's still a vampire. Nazana again tells him that he was only attracted to her. It is not love. But the step after for some time, they head outside. As they pass by people, Nazana starts telling whose blood she has drunk. But Ko doesn't like listening because he feels a bit jealous. He wants her to drink only his blood. Nazana notices and starts him for it. She assures him that ever since meeting she had only drunk his blood because it's so tasty about someone less. Else is suddenly a question and pops up how Nazana is able to afford either she is with him spending her time playing games. Notsuna takes him to her home and explains that she has a business to help customers who are exhausted because of work all day, and after offering them services, she charges them 3,000 depending on the duration and also drinks their blood. She demonstrates and as she was about to drink. Upon checking, Nazana is worried to know it's her customer. She is worried because after massaging Ko, she is very tired and doesn't have the strength to attend to any customers. However, she doesn't want to send away the customer because she has opted for the costliest massage. She requests Ko to serve the customer, and in return, she will give him 2,000 yen. Ko is just hearing the amount for a young beau like him. It's a lot of money, and on top of that, Nazuna promises to kiss him as an additional reward. Cole is tempted by the offer and agrees. However, it's by not the kiss, it's by money. Even at this point, Cole hasn't fallen in love with Notsuna and still sees her as a pretty vampire. Kayo invites the lady in, and her name is Shirikawa. After changing clothes, Kayo begins massaging. Was Shirikawa suspicious of Ko. That has the session continued. She is a bit relaxed. They have a conversation. She is surprised to know first time doing it. Cole explains that his boss is dizzy today, so that's why he is doing the job instead of her. Shirakawa doesn't mind it all because all her stress is now gone. After she leaves, Nazana is impressed with Ko's work and takes him to a night party. However, with all grown UPS Ko feels uncomfortable. He notices a few guys hitting on Nazuna. He is scared to confront the adult. Nazuna notices Ko is not coming to help her, so she tells the guys she is with no one. She can spend her time with them if they can pay for the juice. I'm hearing this. Cole is a bit pissed. He grabs Nasina's and takes hand. Her away. After they leave, the place tells Nasina that he wants to spend time at a night pool where there is no crowd. Nasina has a wonderful idea. She grabs Ko and takes him his to school pool. There they spend the rest of the night. The next day, while searching for Nazana, it starts raining. And now Ko is while stuck he is waiting for the rain to stop. He spots a girl named turning down a man, and soon the same girl approaches Ko and asks to hang out. Even though she is a beauty, Ko refuses. Siri grabs his soda can and starts walking away. Ko felt it rude and starts following her to bring the soda can back. After some time, they end up under a highway. Ko asks her to soda can back. However, she drank it all in just a blink of an eye. She suddenly appears in front and hugs Ko. By the time Ko realizes what's happening, she opens her and mouth tries to drink his blood, that luckily knows no in a nick of time and stops her. As you have already guessed, Siri is also a vampire. Nazana and Seri don't like each other. It's illegal for vampires to casually hang with humans unless they are going to turn them or kill them. This is why Seri tried to attack. There is a group of vampires that have noticed Nazana breaking the rules and have decided to take the matter into their hands. Regardless, Nazana doesn't care about their rules. She fights Siri to protect Ko. Another vampire named Kabura appears and takes Ko away to a rooftop building. There are 3 other vampires named Nico, Midori, and Hotsuka. Without wasting any time, Nico gets straight to the point. She tells Ko to pick any one of the vampires present here, and after that vampire will turn him into a vampire. And in case he refused to pick, they would have to kill him because it's their policy to make sure the vampire's identity is not threatened. Ko understands and picks Nazuna They all are in shock.
It's almost
like an insult
to their beauty.
Nico tells
that they
Ko
all are more popular
than Nazuna.
It's not like Nazana
Not a
is.
beauty.
It's just she is not good at
romance stuff
and doesn't want to create offspring.
Nico made Ko
sit next to
her. She tells
him to forget
about Nazuna
and to pick her up. However,
the other vampires
didn't like Nico
sneaking up
to make Ko her
offspring, and
they start
fighting over
despite
it.
all
The chaos
is
Ko
firm in his
decision to
fall in love
with Nazuna.
Only it was
At this moment,
Nazuna arrives.
she heard what Ko
and
said.
starts
Embarrassed
after coming
she
down
tells
to
Ko
return. However, before they leave,
Nico tells
to turn
Ko
as soon as possible,
because if he
didn't turn before 1
he will
year,
never
become a
which in
vampire,
turn
means they will have no other choice
but to kill him.
Ko starts to freak out and
asks Nazuna
why she
him
didn't
about
tell
this
earlier. Nazuna apologizes,
she
forgot about
as
it.
the
vampires start to party,
Nazuna
remembers
suddenly
the
she
reward
promised Ko
in return for
the
doing
massage.
She kisses him
and
afterward flies away,
everyone
leaving
speechless.
on his way
Ko
home.
meets
up with Akira and
Ko
tells
about
the time limit
has
he
been given. Ko is in a
and
panic
requests her help. Akira calms him down
and
and tells him
to just fall
in love as fast as possible. The following day, Ko has an encounter with Siri. He starts to
remember what
happened earlier and freaks out
as he tries
to run away. Siri grabs
and
him
tells
to
him
calm down.
She ensures him
that unlike
earlier she
now doesn't care about killing.
him.
She was filled up on his innocentness situation
And that's why
wants to help him with her decades of experience. She gives Coast some tips,
Just
like
and
Siri's guidance. Ko
goes to Nasuna's
place and asks
how on a date.
However, she bluntly refuses. After slamming
the door in his face,
she resumes the game she was playing. Cole felt disrespected and asked if a video game is more important than his life now. Zinna replies, while obviously Ko furiously turns off the game and drags her on
away.
the date. Luckily, Nazuna is a wholesome vampire, or else
Ko would
been
have
cooked for pulling off the cable. As per the
given
plan
by
Seri, Ko first takes her to a romantic
movie. Looking
at Nasina's face.
you could probably guess
how much she was
enjoying it.
After the movie ends, they go to a restaurant
where they drink
coffee. However,
in the end, Ko
returns home feeling pathetic over the lack of progress. While he is
Thinking
thinking
about
the next plan, Nasina
she
knocks the window.
apologizes.
She should have at least pretended to
enjoy
the day. She grabs Ko and flies up into the sky to show him how a date should
the
be.
next day.
On his way to meet Nazuna, Ko has
an
an encounter with his
unexpected
old friend.
My hero.
Have been years since they had a
proper talk.
Ko, Akira, and My Hero were friends
great
when they were little. But as they grew up, their classes got separated.
They have to study
and
more.
eventually they stopped talking. My Hero, being an extrovert, likes to party and spend
but
time
despite
outside.
it,
He apologizes, as there were times they both noticed
each other but
didn't get a chance to talk. Cole also
and
apologizes how much he
reuniting
loved him
with
suddenly. Out of nowhere,
Akira appears
and tells them
their conversation
making
is
her feel very awkward. They share a moment, and Akira tells My Hero
fooling
about
around
Ko with a girl. My Hero finds
amusing.
However, he receives
a text from
his home, and before leaving, he tells them
he would
love to hang out like this again. After bidding
Akira
Ko
goodbye
reunites with Nazuna
as they were
walking. Siri spots Ko
and
from
tries
afar to hug him, but unexpectedly she receives a from Nazuna. Siri explains
that she is
not here to fight and just wants to hang out. Not Sina finds
weird
it
because
it was Siri who said she was against
vampires and
being
humans.
friends. With a sad tone, Siri tells
that
not
she is
Sina
right
because she can never be friends with a human. After she leaves, Ko approaches her. He could see the sad look and asks if everything is okay. Siri takes Ko to a nearby karaoke. There, she tells him that she is very popular among
And
men.
recently,
One of them is stalking
like
her.
a freak.
She doesn't want any trouble, that if things get out of
she
control,
will kill
the person.
a
Just
guy named
Akin stands
in
front of the room. He starts banging on the door, trying to gain Siri's attention.
Siri
that
tells
this was the man she
was
earlier talking about. She explains that just by saying hi to these people, they will go away. They only need attention and would do anything for it. However, the door was open and Akin